Have you ever noticed how the moment the cold weather sets in, everybody around you starts dropping like flies? The sniffles, the coughs, the whole house passing one sickness back and forth all winter long? It's just accepted now, isn't it? Winter comes, so sickness comes. But I want to tell you something, and I want to be honest with you right from the start, because I'll never sell you a tall tale. My people are not magic. We catch colds like anyone, but it is true, plain true, that sickness moves through our homes far less than it moves through most, and the long winters that lay so many folks low hardly touch us at all. And it's not luck, and it's not in our blood, it's in how we live. So today I'm going to tell you exactly why, the real reasons, the simple daily things that keep my family strong through the hardest, darkest part of the year. And every single one of them is something you could start doing yourself right where you are. Let me get right to the heart of it. There is no one secret. I wish I could hand you a single magic thing, but that would be a lie, and the truth is better anyway. What keeps us well through winter is a whole way of living, a dozen small habits woven together, each one helping the body do what the body was made to do, which is to keep itself well. Let me walk you through them one by one. The first, and maybe the biggest one, is this. We are outside every single day working all winter long. Now most folks, when the cold comes, they shut themselves up indoors. They go from a heated house to a heated car to a heated workplace and back again, breathing the same stale, closed-up air for months. The same air everyone around them is breathing and coughing into. And that closed-up air, full of whatever everyone's carrying, is one of the great reasons sickness spreads so fast in winter. But my people are out in the fresh air every day. There's animals to tend, wood to split, chores that don't stop just because it's cold. We bundle up and we go out, and our lungs fill with clean, cold, moving air instead of the stale stuff. That alone, just being out in the fresh air and moving your body every day instead of sealing yourself in a warm box, makes a powerful difference. The body was not meant to sit still in stale air for months. It was meant to move and to breathe freely. And that ties right into the second thing, which is the work itself, the physical work. We don't have to go to a special building to exercise because our whole day is movement. Hauling, lifting, walking, splitting, carrying. A body that works hard every day is a strong body. And a strong body fights off sickness far better than a soft, still one. You don't need to swing an axe to get this, but you do need to move. A good long walk every day, even in the cold, especially in the cold, does more for your health through the winter than almost anything you could buy in a bottle. Keep your body moving, and your body keeps you well. The third thing is what we eat, and this is a big one. Through the whole winter, we are eating the food we put up ourselves, from our own gardens and our own animals. Real food, whole food, not things that come out of a box or a bag with a long list of words on the side that nobody can pronounce. We eat the vegetables we grew and canned, the meat we raised, the eggs from our own hens. We eat hearty soups and stews, full of vegetables and good broth. And let me tell you about broth, because it's one of the quiet heroes of a winter kitchen. When we butcher, we don't waste the bones. We simmer them down long and slow into a rich broth. And that broth, full of goodness drawn out of the bones, is the base of so many of our winter meals. A pot of soup made from real broth and real vegetables is medicine and food all at once. Your great-grandmother knew that. Chicken soup for a cold isn't an old wives' tale. It's old wisdom, and the wisdom is real. And we eat our fermented foods, which is the fourth thing, and another one most folks have completely forgotten. Sauerkraut. That's cabbage put up in salt and left to ferment, and it keeps all winter, and it is wonderfully good for you. The old folks didn't know the science of why, but they knew that the families who ate their kraut and their pickled things through the winter stayed healthier. There's something about those fermented foods that's good for the gut, and a healthy gut, we're learning now, is a big part of a body that fights off sickness well. So through the winter, when the fresh garden is sleeping under the snow, we're still eating living, healthful food that we put up in the fall. Cabbage turned to kraut, cucumbers turned to pickles, the harvest preserved and still doing us good months later. The fifth thing is rest, real rest. And this is where our way of life is so different that it's hard for some folks to even imagine. When the sun goes down, our day winds down with it. We don't have screens glowing late into the night, keeping us up past when our bodies want to sleep. We rise with the light and we rest with the dark, more or less the way human beings did for all of history until just recently. And good, deep, plentiful sleep is one of the most powerful medicines there is. A tired body, a body that never gets enough rest, is a body with its guard down, and that's when sickness slips in. The winter nights are long, and we use them to rest deeply, and we wake restored. Ask yourself honestly how much you sleep, and whether the glowing screen in your hand at midnight might be stealing the very rest your body needs to keep you well. The sixth thing is something you can't buy and can't bottle, and it's the lack of a certain kind of worry, the peace of mind. Now, I don't want to pretend our lives are free of trouble, because no life is, but there is a steadiness to how we live, a slower pace, a deep web of family and community around us that keeps a certain grinding kind of stress at bay. And here's the thing that the doctors themselves will tell you now. Stress, that constant churning worry, it wears the body down and weakens its defenses. A person who is anxious and frazzled and run ragged all the time is a person who gets sick more easily. There's no doubt about it anymore. So the calm, the community, the sense of being held by your people and your faith, that's not just good for the soul, it's good for the body too. It's one more reason we weather the winter well. Now let me add a few of the simple, sensible things because they matter too. We keep clean. Washing hands with good plain soap, especially before eating, is one of the oldest and surest ways to keep sickness from spreading, and it costs nothing. We keep warm and dry, properly dressed for the weather, because a body that's chilled and damp is a body under strain. We drink plenty of water and warm teas, and when someone does take sick, here's something important: we let them rest and we tend them, and we don't all pile on top of them. A sick body needs rest to heal, and the rest of the household giving that person room to recover helps keep it from racing through everyone. Let me also give you the simple matter of staying warm, because it's more important to your health than most folks realize. A body that is constantly fighting off a chill is a body spending its strength on staying warm instead of staying well. We dress for the cold properly, in good layers, wool against the skin that holds the warmth even when damp. We keep our heads and our feet warm, because that's where the warmth flees first. And there's an old habit here worth keeping. Warm drinks all through the day. A hot tea, a mug of broth, something warm in your hands and going down into you, warms you from the center out and keeps you hydrated besides, which folks forget to mind in winter because they don't feel thirsty in the cold the way they do in summer. So we sip warm teas through the day, peppermint, chamomile, whatever's been dried and put by from the garden. It comforts, it warms, it keeps the water in you where it belongs, and it's a small, steady kindness to the body across a long, cold day. A chilled, dried-out body is a body with its guard down. A warm, well-watered one stands strong. And come back with me once more to the calm, because I believe it's underrated more than anything else on this whole list. There is a kind of frantic that the modern world lives in, a constant rushing and buzzing and worrying, news and noise and hurry from the moment the eyes open, and that frantic state, kept up day after day, month after month, quietly burns the body down. Our winters are quiet. The pace slows with the season, the way it's meant to. There's mending and reading and time by the fire, time with family, time that isn't filled with noise. The body gets to rest its nerves, not just its muscles. And a body whose nerves are rested, whose mind is at peace, defends itself far better than one that's wound tight as a spring. You may not be able to slow your whole life down the way ours is slow, but you can carve out some quiet. You can put down the noise of an evening. You can give your nerves a rest. Your body will thank you for it in ways you can feel. Now, I have to stop and be the honest neighbor with you, because I would never want to lead you astray on something as serious as your health. Everything I've told you is about helping your body stay strong and keeping everyday sickness at bay. These are good and sound habits, the kind of plain wisdom that's been proven out over generations and that your own doctor would nod right along with. But hear me clearly, none of this makes anyone invincible. We do get sick sometimes, all of us. And when a sickness is serious, when a fever climbs high and won't break, when there's trouble breathing, when something is clearly beyond the everyday, that is the time for a real doctor, and there is no shame and no weakness in seeking one. The old ways and the doctor are not enemies. A wise person uses both, the daily habits to stay strong, and the doctor for the serious things that are beyond home tending. I'm not telling you to throw away medicine. I'm telling you how to live in a way that means you need it less often. Those are very different things, and I want to be sure you hear the difference. Now let me slow down and give you the practical meat of a few of these, because I don't want to leave you with just nice ideas. I want to leave you with things you can actually do this week. Start with that bone broth, because it's the easiest, powerful thing you can add to your winter, and almost nobody does it anymore. The next time you cook a chicken, don't you dare throw away that carcass. You put those bones in a big pot, cover them with water, throw in whatever vegetable ends you've saved, an onion, some carrot tops, a bit of celery, maybe a splash of vinegar to help draw the goodness out of the bones, and you let it simmer low and slow for hours. Your whole house will smell like comfort, and what you'll have at the end is a rich golden broth that you can drink by the mug on a cold day or use as the base for every soup and stew all winter. It costs you almost nothing because you were going to throw those bones away. That's the old way in a nutshell. You take what others waste and you turn it into something that nourishes and strengthens. A mug of warm broth on a bitter day warms you from the inside and feeds your body deep. Keep a pot going through the winter and you'll feel the difference. Then there's the sauerkraut, and I promise you it's simpler than you think. You take a cabbage, you slice it up fine, and you put it in a bowl with some salt. Then, and this is the only real work, you squeeze it and pack it with your hands until the cabbage gives up its water and there's enough of that salty juice to cover it. You press it down under its own juice in a crock or a jar, keep it under the liquid so the air can't get at it, and you let it sit at room temperature. And nature does the rest. Over days and weeks it ferments, it turns tangy and alive, and it'll keep for months. A spoonful alongside your meals through the winter is one of the healthiest, oldest things you can do for yourself. Folks crossed oceans on ships eating kraut to keep from getting sick, long before anyone understood why it worked. The wisdom came first, the understanding came later, but the kraut worked the whole time. Now I'll be honest with you about the sunlight, because it matters and I won't skip past it. In the deep of winter, the sun is low and the days are short, and our bodies make less of something we need from sunlight, and that can leave folks run down. We're outside every day, which helps as much as it can, but this is one where I'll tell you plainly, if you're shut indoors most of the winter, it's worth talking to your doctor about whether you're getting enough of what the sun would normally give you, because going short on it can wear down your defenses. That's not an old remedy, that's just good sense, and I'd rather give you the honest, complete picture than leave a gap. Get what sunlight you can, get outside when the sun does show itself, and mind that part of your health through the dark months. And let me say a word about the children, because this is where it all gets passed down. Our young ones are out in it with us. They're not kept soft and sealed indoors, afraid of a little cold. They're bundled up and out in the fresh air, running and working and playing, and they grow up hardy because of it. A child who spends their winter outdoors in the cold air, moving and playing, is building a strong body that will serve them their whole life. Now, I'm not saying send your little ones out in a blizzard. I'm saying don't be so quick to keep them cooped up inside all winter. A child needs fresh air and movement as much as a grown person does, maybe more. Let them out. Let them run. Let the cold air fill their lungs. It builds them strong in a way that no amount of indoor comfort ever could. I remember one winter years back when a bad sickness was going around the wider area something fierce. We heard of whole families laid up with it, schools closing, the works. And it touched us. I won't say it didn't. A few of us caught something. But it moved through our community so much gentler than it moved through the towns, and I got to thinking hard about why. And it came back to all these things. We were outside. We were eating from our stores, the real food, the broth, the kraut. We were sleeping our long winter nights. We were calm in our routines and held by our people. Our bodies were ready, is the best way I can put it. They were strong and rested and well fed and used to the cold. And so when the sickness came knocking, most of us were able to shrug it off, and the few who caught it got over it quick. That winter taught me that all these small daily habits that seem like nothing one at a time add up to something powerful when they're woven together over a whole life. So let me gather it all together for you, because I've given you a good deal. Why does sickness pass us by so much of the winter? It's the fresh air and the daily outdoor work, instead of months sealed up in stale rooms. It's the hard physical labor that keeps the body strong. It's the real, whole food we grew and put up ourselves, the hearty soups, the rich bone broth, the living fermented foods like sauerkraut. It's the deep, plentiful rest of long nights without glowing screens. It's the calm and the community that keep grinding stress away. And it's the simple sense of cleanliness and warmth and tending the sick wisely. Not one magic thing, a whole way of living, every part of it helping the body do its God-given work of keeping itself well. And here's the part I most want you to take to heart. You do not have to become Amish to have any of this. Every single one of these things is available to you right now, wherever you live. You can put on a coat and take a walk in the cold air every day. You can move your body. You can cook real food from scratch instead of opening another box. You can simmer a pot of bone broth and learn to make a jar of sauerkraut. You can put down the glowing screen and let yourself get a full night's deep sleep. You can tend the relationships that bring you peace and let go of some of the worry that's wearing you down. You can wash your hands and keep yourself warm. None of it is secret. None of it is expensive. Most of it is free. It just takes the deciding and then the doing. Because here's the truth at the bottom of all of it. Your body already knows how to keep itself well. It was made to. It has been doing it for as long as there have been people. All these habits do is get out of the body's way and give it what it needs. Good air, good food, good rest, good movement, and a calm mind. The modern world, for all its comforts, has quietly stripped so many of those things away, sealed us indoors, fed us from boxes, stolen our sleep with screens, and wound us up tight with worry. And then we wonder why we're sick all the time. We didn't get weaker. We got further from the things that kept us strong. And the beautiful thing, the hopeful thing, is that you can walk right back toward them, starting today, one habit at a time. So this winter, instead of just bracing for the sickness like it's a thing that has to come, try living a little more the old way. Get outside, move, eat real, sleep deep, worry less, tend your people, and watch how much stronger you and your family stand against the cold season. It won't make you invincible, nothing will, and I'd never tell you otherwise, but it just might mean the winter passes through your home a whole lot lighter than it used to. If this is the kind of plain, proven wisdom you've been hungry for, the kind that got set aside and forgotten in all the rush of modern life, then stay here with me. There's so much more where this came from, and I aim to bring it back to you, one piece at a time. Subscribe, and we'll keep remembering the old ways together, because some of the most important things we ever knew are the simple ones we let ourselves forget.